Readiness is not a feeling that comes. It's just, if you're waiting to feel ready, it's just, unfortunately to say, never going to come. It's a feeling that you really choose, actively choose. So today is not about adding more to your plate. I hope you just feel a little bit inspired to it's really not about adding anything more. I'm not going to be teaching anything you don't know, but I hope it removes that feeling that's holding you back. So we've actually spoken about this quite a bit at Diamond Day. It was my first Diamond Day yesterday, guys. It was so good. And we spoke about this a little bit. We overcomplicate things here, right? And I've heard a few people say it today. I think Paul said it as well. We tend to take something that is actually quite simple and spiral it. Who does this? Like, creates this big thing in our minds, and then it just becomes so scary and overwhelming. Like, what we do here is really quite simple. We share a product and we share a business opportunity. Like, that is the basis of what we do. How that looks for all of us is obviously very different, but the basis of what we do is quite similar, simple. And what we do at the level of elite and the level of presidential diamond within our personal businesses is actually quite similar. There's a level of leadership that obviously steps in, but what we do in our personal businesses every single day is not much different from elite to presidential diamond. So most hesitation that we have is not the lack of ability, it's conditional confidence. So I will do this when I do this. I will move once I feel qualified. I will do this once I feel legitimate. I will do this when I feel ready. It's like putting those conditions around what we know we have to do. So leadership does not begin when you feel legitimate. It begins when you decide to lead and then you close the back door. So I can tell you now that I did not feel legitimate when I started. So I'm going to take you right back to the beginning of when I started my online business within the network marketing space. But first of all, this is me. I am a mum of 2 girls, Poppy and Ruby. I am a wife to Rel, aka Alex Relic. We have the same name as of 2 years ago when we got married. And we live in a little town on the mid-north coast on 5 acres. And we just love our life up there. I'm a city girl, so this is just a life that I never thought that I would live, but I would never have it any other way. But when we still lived in Sydney back then, but I was introduced to this business opportunity from a friend that I hadn't spoken to in quite a long while, but I loved her, I trusted her, and what I fell in love with, immediately, the moment, and it was old school network marketing back then, guys. I was sent this video that was it was so old school. It was this woman in the UK, we had nothing in common. She was just presenting. She was like, look at all my things. This is what I've created, la, 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 la. And what I saw out of that was not all the things, but the opportunity to create something that is yours, something that, watching my husband, he'd run multiple bricks and mortar businesses, and it was just traditional business can be so heavy. We've brought this up a bit as well. I think Paul was talking about this. Overhead, stress, constant back-end stuff. I watched him do that and I was like, I am not capable of that. That is not what I want to do with myself. But I loved the idea of having something that was mine and having control over my time. And so when I was presented with this opportunity, it felt like the opposite of that. It was a business in a box. You got your own website, you had a compensation plan that you earned money through, and you had the ability to create... Can I go down? Sorry, thank you. The ability to create something that was yours. You didn't have to hold stock, you didn't have to... It just was my mind was blown that more people weren't doing this. It really did blow my mind that it wasn't kind of a common thing. And so when I started here, I didn't know the industry, I didn't know the product. I knew I liked the product, but I didn't know much about it. I didn't know how to run a business. The only thing I did understand was social media, because that's what I did at the time. I worked in social media for boutique hotels. But I made a decision really early on I got my products, loved the product so much, had a really great experience with it, and I decided really early on that I was going to be successful. I had no idea how, but I decided that this is for me. This is what I was going to do. My driver back then was autonomy. I wanted control over my time. I wanted control over my days. At the time, I had just had my first daughter, Poppy. Well, she was 16 months old at that time, and all the mums in here know that everything changes when you become a mum. You don't want to go back to doing what you used to do. And I was working 30 hours a week for my social media job. It was flexible, but it wasn't mine. And so I decided that this was going to be my full-time thing. I didn't quit my job immediately, but I decided that I was going all in from the very beginning. Like, I'm sure my husband thought I was insane because he was just like, okay. And now he knows it's really normal for me to just go, yes, and then just work it out. But back then he was probably like, whoa. So in the early days, when I was so fresh to this industry, I didn't know what I was doing. How was I going to do this? I put about 80% of my time into personal development. Like, I was reading, I was listening to things, I was visualizing, I was meditating, I was doing yoga. I immersed myself in making myself, like, how to think differently before I was even concerned about how I was going to do differently. These are a snapshot of some books that I sent my team not long ago, just books that have had a really big impact on me, like network marketing books. You've got your woo-woo books, but then you've got your, personal development books that are a bit more practical. And so I said yes, I'd shut the back door, but I just didn't know how to succeed yet. I needed that confidence and that self-belief. And it really was the best decision that I ever made, because all this stuff that we're learning here, like, I've loved this leadership so far because it's been so practical and we can go home and we can action these things immediately. But if you don't have the self-belief, if you truly don't believe that this is going to work for you, none of that matters. Like, all the things that we're learning, like, we need to believe that we are capable, and we need to have a vision, a clear vision for where we're going, where it's really hard to have direction and know where to go next. So the other 20% was very messy action. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. You'd think because I worked in social media that I could create content, but it was bad. Like, back then I was selling skincare, so I chose the products. I decided I wanted to do a video online, and we didn't even have a live video back then. There was no stories on Instagram. It was, I think you just recorded and then you just uploaded a story, a video, and it could go for like 45 minutes. And so I decided what I wanted to talk about. I typed out a script and I printed it out and I sat it up here, like, stuck to these books. And then there was no like fancy phone holders or anything back then. I had these other books with my phone, and I put the shot here, so it purposely cut my head out so I could read the script and show the products. Oh my God, my girlfriends were messaging me like, what? Show your face. I'm like, no, I'm just like sweating and just an absolute mess. There was no one even on the other end. It was just me filming myself. But I was terrified, and I was so bad, and it was so clunky and so bad. But I knew that if I had committed to this, like, I had to do the things that were going to scare me every single day. And that's what I did. Like, my mindset became really simple. It was like, if I show up and I do the things that terrify me, like, I'm going to get good. Like, success is going to become inevitable, right? So, like, if we want to see success here, we can either get excited about doing the things that terrify us, or we might have lost touch with, that we know we have to do, but we just are holding ourselves back. We can get excited for those things, even if it's horribly scary, or we can just whinge about all the things that we know we have to do, and our businesses aren't where they want to be, and everything is just going to be delayed. So that belief that I had worked so fiercely on carried me for about 6 years in that business. I reached the second highest level of that compensation plan. I was so proud of what I'd created. I learnt so much about myself, so much about the industry, but something just became really misaligned. And in April of 2024 is when I was kind of feeling completely like unsure about what I was doing. The wellness industry was moving at a terrifying rate, and there was just so many people doing the same thing, and I was just completely and utterly overwhelmed with the industry. And so, into dōTERRA. I have known Courtney Dow since I was born. We've been friends our whole lives. Our parents were friends. We went on holidays together every year, and we later on cheered each other on in business. We started our network marketing businesses about a year apart, and I had a pretty profound experience with essential oils. They weren't dōTERRA, but when I was pregnant with my first daughter, Poppy, she was still in there, but I was having a really hard time mentally, and I just knew I needed to do something. Like, I didn't know what I needed to do, but I turned to meditation, and I was using essential oils to support those practices, and they really did change my life. And this wasn't even dōTERRA. You can imagine when I opened my first bottle of dōTERRA. So in 2018, Courtney was going for Diamond, and I purchased a Nature Solutions pack off her. I could not afford a Nature Solutions pack at the time, but I called my dad and my brother and my mum. This was like back in 2018, and I'm like, this is what you guys are getting me. You need to buy me this for my birthday. Great. So I get these oils, and I just fall in love with them. They were just, obviously, we all know there is something so different about opening a bottle of dōTERRA oil in comparison to any other oil. And frankincense was the first one that I cracked, and I fell in love with the oils. So I had a really amazing customer experience. I signed up on the LRP even though I had such a massive collection of oils, had no idea how to use any of them. Ended up with about 28 geraniums because I kept forgetting to change my LRP. I'm still using those. They're just going, oh my God, they're everywhere. And so Court and I were chatting one day, as we did often, and we were talking about business, and she was sending me this app that I could use for my business. And it was just like, we were going back and forth, and I said to her, and I genuinely was so shocked when it came out of my mouth, and I think we both thought we were kind of joking. It just came out. I said, how good would it be if we worked together? And we just laughed because we'd never spoken about that. We'd been like collaborating and sharing ideas and cheering each other on for so long, and we'd never spoken about working together. And it just like came out of my mouth, and I was just like, this is weird. And so we got on a call, and I said, just take me through the compensation plan. I want to have a look. Anyway, it was very overwhelming because it was very different to what I was used to. And I got off that call, and what I thought to myself was, I was so overwhelmed with the wellness industry and clean products, because the last company I was partnered with, it was clean beauty, and that was what I sold, clean skincare. And so many people were doing what we were doing. Like, we were kind of like one of the only ones back then. There were people doing it, but not like that. And then it was just getting more and more, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. It just didn't feel right. And I thought to myself, what could I feel more proud to share and to take my family on this journey and to take my personal brand in this direction, that natural lifestyle? What could feel better than just pure nature in a bottle? Like, it just was this like moment where I just thought, this is it. Like, this is how, it wasn't just logical, it was like felt right in my body. So I started a dōTERRA business, and I was like, what have I done? Like, how am I going to do this? I built this trust with this audience, and they know me for this and blah, blah, blah. And I called my best girlfriend, and I said, how am I going to like do this smoothly with, integrity and just, how am I going to do this? She's like, Alex, like, she's corporate as. And she's like, it's a business decision. You're allowed to make a business decision at any moment. You don't have to over-explain. I'm like, oh, but we're so emotional in this industry, and I'm so like emotionally attached, and she's like, it's a business decision. You shouldn't have to over-explain why you've done this. I'm like, that's true. So that was really empowering for me. And I didn't over-explain, but many would assume, because I've had experience in this industry, that it was easy for me. And I hear that a lot, or like people saying that other people are blessed with this or blessed with that, or it's easy for them or it's easy for that. No one has an advantage over anyone else when they start here. Like, I had a new compensation plan, a new product, new website. One thing I did have was fierce belief in myself and the industry, but I had done years of work on that prior. And everybody has that same opportunity. Like, working on we have to work on ourselves like our business depends on it, because it literally does depend on it. If we don't believe this is for us, it's going to be really hard to see success here. So I took my audience, I showed up, and I was really confident in my decision and why I had partnered with this company and why I'd partnered with this product. And I was really confident with that, but I was super vulnerable in a way that I was like, I'm going back to square one. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I invited my audience to come on the journey with me. I just took them with me as I learnt how to use these products and learnt how to live this natural lifestyle, which I hadn't lived before. And everyone has that opportunity. If you're in here and you think, oh, I just don't know enough about this, I don't know the constituents of this and that, and like, you don't have to. It's like the confidence of you knowing that you are in the right place, that you are partnered with the right brand, is what people need to feel safe. But that vulnerability of you being like, oh, I kind of don't know what I'm doing, people relate to that. It's like, you look like a real human. You're actually being honest with them, and they trust you, and that builds that trust with your audience. So this is a little snapshot of my wonderful team and our journey, basically. And it obviously built over time. And I had said yes so many times. I was taking Courtney's lead. I was like, I'm willing to be the small guy that knows nothing again. Teach me your ways. Tell me what I have to do. And I just said yes. I didn't know what I was doing. Yes, we worked it out. Yes, what do I have to do? This is what it looks like. Like, there was always somewhat of a strategy, but also I say yes, and I close that back door so there's no other way out every single time. So it's just a whole bunch of little yeses. And I always remove the fear of the numbers. I'm like, just tell me what it is, and then we'll work on that. Like, 1 is the same as 50. Like, it's exactly the same thing. You're just doing it more times, right? So don't be overwhelmed by the numbers. When I started within dōTERRA, I talked about the business opportunity a lot. Like, a lot, probably more than the product, because I believe that's what I know and what I believe in. I believe in this opportunity. We are all here for a reason. And if you are here as a business owner, you are immersing yourself in the dōTERRA lifestyle, which is something that, you have to pull people as customers. But when you are invested as a business, you get this full immersion of what this is to live a dōTERRA lifestyle, to live a natural lifestyle. So at the start of 2025, I decided that we were going to go diamond. And if you were at leadership last year, you would have seen me declare this on stage. That was absolutely not planned at all. And you would know, because I nearly called Courtney a very naughty word on stage. Starts with a B, ends with an itch. Squeeze your bum cheeks. Okay. So at the time, leading up to Diamond, leading up to the month we'd planned, I got on a call, I should say this first, I got on a call with my account manager at the time, and we planned out the year. We come up with a strategy. It was like, we need to hit this by this, you need this person by this point, and we need to be doing this. Anyway, I'd created this vision board that was like clear. I was spending so much time immersed in that. I was just like, that's where I'm going. This is the direction we're going. I know this is going to happen. I had done the work. Like, when I got off stage at leadership, I was like, ooh, I got some work to do on myself and my belief and my vision and my direction. And so, that's kind of what I did. But at the time, it's such an intense year for us. We were renovating 2 houses. My husband doing way more of the renovating than me. But we were moving from one house to another. Our kids were helping. Our kids were just like entertaining themselves every weekend. We were just in it. And just to add another layer, my dad was really unwell, mentally, physically, living with us. I don't know if I can even say it. And then one of my best friends passed away with absolutely no answers as to why. And this was the month before we were meant to go diamond. I was like, what the, like how, how is this going to happen? How is this, like this isn't in the plan. Like when you visualize this outcome, it's like, you know, life still happens and things still happen. Like things aren't going to unfold neatly. Like I know that 2025 was a really crappy year for a lot of people. Like I can't even explain the amount of people that I've spoken to, and I'm sure you guys all know it was a really weird year. But I was just paralyzed. Like this was September, and I was like, I don't want to talk about business. I don't want to think about business. I don't want to get online. I don't want to do anything. Like I just wanted to lie in a bed with my girlfriends and just cry. So what I had so fiercely worked on throughout that year was this belief that this was going to happen. And it wasn't just action within my business, all these amazing things that we should be doing in our businesses, and we are so practical and so, like, it really makes you show up as a business owner and treat your business like a business. Like, that belief I'd worked on so hard, and that vision of what I was creating and how I wanted to impact women through the business and through the products. And I'd done so much work on that it felt harder for me to back out than it did to go for it. Like, I had done the work and I was like, I am not adding I didn't try to my list of shitty things that happened at the end of 2025. So I was running on about 50%. I was going to give that whole 50% that I had because I wasn't going to quit. And then this is what happened on the 31st.
Has it gone in? It's showing as... Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So... What? How much is there? How much is left to go?
Nothing.
Oh. Oh my God, I'm so...
Oh my God, it literally makes me laugh because I was like, the second last week of October, I was sitting by a hospital bed with my dad and I was like, this isn't going to happen. This is crazy. Like, I can't believe, like, whoa, this is so wild. Oh my God, I've got hardly any time. I need to speed up. Okay, so in order to become a leader, we have to truly step into that energy of guiding a team. Like, we must trust ourselves. And I've heard a bit of self-trust talk as well. Self-trust is really built the same way any relationship is built. It's built through follow-through. It's built through doing what you say you're going to do. Like, when you move before you're ready, your team is going to feel safe to move before they're ready. Like, when we delay action that we've already decided on, we actually really weaken that trust. So now you can take photos of these. I've got a few practical things for you to do. We want to really identify what it is that's holding us back. Some of us might not have even really decided what we want here. Like, what is the outcome of why we are here? So I want you to write down, and it can be now, it can be later, but one decision that you've already made. It could be promotion goal, monetary goal, impact goal. What have you decided that you want? And then what is the action that you've been avoiding that you know you have to do to get closer to that. And then what are you telling yourself this action needs before you can actually do it? So what condition, if you're putting a condition around it, it's still not a decision. If you have conditions, it's still in negotiation. Like, you need more clarity or more time or more confidence. Like, you're still in that negotiation phase. So a real decision shuts the back door. You may not know how yet, but you are going to make it happen. Like, we've got the tools, my friends. Like, all the things that we've been given today, we have no excuses. So who is an overthinker here? Like, yes, I'm pretty sure we all are at times. But this activity, and yeah, this is it's kind of similar to what Cody was talking about with the 1%, but it's about just doing something, like taking an activity and just doing 10%, like 10%. Momentum starts in your calendar, not from the outcome. So, if you don't wait to feel ready, you need to schedule the thing first. So it's something that I often do, and I have in the past, is I'll look at my month and I'll go, okay, what am I going to book in? I don't know who I'm going to invite, where I'm going to have the event, what I'm going to, how I'm going to promote it, nothing. I just put it in my calendar. And that is enough to be like, oh, I've got to work that out. I've got to get this moving. If you're procrastinating, doing something like that is going to be really helpful for you. Taking that first step, small, consistent movement beats big, delayed action every day. So if the leader title still scares you, if you're like, oh my gosh, it's terrifying to call myself a leader because I feel like I'm not a leader, I'm not capable of that. Take your audience or whoever you are sharing, if you build online or if you talk about the business in person, take them on the journey with you. Show them how you are becoming a leader. Because when I think about, I have conversations with people in my online space quite a lot that have been with me from the very beginning, and they saw that video where I'm blip, 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 without my head on it. They've seen me grow into a confident person, which I absolutely was not when I first started here. So take people on that journey. Show them that you're showing up to become a leader. Show them what you're doing to grow into that leadership. So the moment you take action, you create that permission for others to follow you. So now this one's one that I want you to take a photo of and really take some time. So give yourself some time to actually sit with this. But some of us haven't even, and this is for the people that haven't even allowed themselves to fully decide yet. That is okay. That is totally okay. But if you never decide, nothing changes. This exercise is not about pressure or shame. It's about noticing what's sitting in the background and holding you back from going for something. So staying undecided is always going to feel safe. But it's costing you momentum, it's costing you time, it's costing you money. And I'm sure if you've been in this industry for a while, you would have heard, if nothing changes, nothing changes, because it could not be more true. So the goal here is simple. We want awareness first and then one small step forward. I saw this the other day when I was on Instagram, and I thought it was so great. You must believe in something before it exists. You must invest in something before it proves itself. You must commit to something before it commits to you. Most people need proof before they believe proof can exist. That's not backwards thinking, that's breakthrough thinking, which is, So leadership is not proven by results, it's proven by decisions. Your team doesn't mirror your strategy, they will mirror your certainty. Show up with certainty. Are you sure? And if you are not sure, if you are not standing in your power as a leader, you've got work to do. And that's okay. We all have work to do. When you hesitate, they feel it. When you move, they move. You'll never feel fully ready. Readiness is a myth. So the question is not, will this work? But who do I choose to be from here? Thank you, everyone.